Okay. Hi, I'm Rasmus Skjoldan from Magnolia, and I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with the global marketing director of an electronics consumer company. Unfortunately, I can't say the name of the company, but we were talking about Omnichannel, and this is what he said. So the way I'm trying to drive Omnichannel is by working story-driven. It's story first, and then it is that story that lives across channels. And he went on and said, Omnichannel is really high up on our agenda, but it is not about technology. It is about organization. So there I was. I come from a vendor and a technology company, and I was talking to someone who said, well, fine with Omnichannel, but it's not about the technology. So when I usually speak to others about Omnichannel, it's quite often something like this that comes up. So this is obviously an extremely technology-focused approach to Omnichannel, whereas when you speak to marketing directors, they quite often tell you that it's really about the stories and not about the technology architecture. Of course, the architecture needs to support something, but the technology is not what should be in the focus. So instead, I'm going to talk to you about a case, a very recent case that was created with the Magnolia CMS for the French film production distribution company called Pathé. And they own a lot of cinemas, and for their Swiss market, they just relaunched their website, I think last week actually. And let's try to look at the mobile experience here. So I'm a fan of Smurfs. I think they're absolutely wonderful, these blue little creatures. And if I want to go watch the new Smurfs movie here, I can watch the trailer first, of course, but then something new starts here, something interesting that they created recently. So you have a free or a movie scheduler that you can use. And here you see that you can pick the dates that will fit for you, like this. Super, super simple. But then what is really interesting is down in the corner. So look here. There's a WhatsApp icon all of a sudden. Haven't seen that one before. And then when you press that one, you obviously open the WhatsApp application on your phone. And then they've made it extraordinarily easy to connect with your friends and invite them to join this experience in the actual cinema. And they've pre-filled all of this warm, welcoming copy in the WhatsApp app in a really, really nice way. It's quite simple. There's nothing magical in the technical integration here, but this story is really, really strong. And if you turn to the desktop web, they use the same pattern, the same design, the same experience, but instead you have the possibility here to use the Doodle integration instead to kind of help you schedule this shared experience with your friends. So I went back and thought about, okay, all of these conversations I have with technology people about Omnichannel, there's something inherently wrong there in the focus. Because when I look at Pathé's kind of Omnichannel, what is it they really do? They help you be a good friend, and they help you plan, and they help you experience or share an experience with others, which I find a really compelling story. And they also help you with the logistics of inviting your friends with the WhatsApp app, for example. This is another example of how they're pre-filling the copy with a warm, welcoming message. So you don't even have to kind of go through the trouble of writing it up yourself in the messaging app. So all in all, I see them using design to kind of link together the experience across both desktop, mobile, calendar, messaging app, and cinema. But this is not that complicated technically. It's not one of the most complicated or complex technical integrations by far that we have seen done with the Magnolia CMS. It's actually quite simple, but the storyline is very clear. And then, of course, they actually do use the web presence to be the primary place to sell tickets and build loyalty with their customers. So this is as far as you can get from something like this, because this is just so complicated, because apart from the technology architecture embedded in this system, there's a huge organizational maneuver, because you have multiple silo departments having to work together across multiple tools, across managers, across countries, and everything when you're setting Omnichannel up in this way. So instead, what I see more and more among our clients is that they're using the storytelling approach to drive personalization and omni-channel features. So I come from this Swiss-based enterprise-class content management system called Magnolia. We're in the fourth wave for web content management systems this year, and we have a very long range of clients using the platform as a content management system, but also as an integration platform. Most notably here in the UK, we have Tesco as a fairly new client using Magnolia for their web presence. So when I start looking closer into the projects that our customers and partners really do, like this one from Commerce Tools that they showed yesterday here in the Omnichannel Theater, or if I look at Max Mara, for example, or if I look at Fendi or Avis Budget or Co-op that uses Magnolia to create these in-store kiosks that Magnolia is powering, or when I look at the largest retailer in Switzerland called Migros or Virgin America, what kind of the pattern I'm seeing across all of these pretty cool projects is that they are story-driven. So it's not about the technology architecture, but about the story that kind of combines everything. And I wanted to make this presentation really, really brief, and therefore just have some time for some questions and dialogue with you. I'm super curious to hear about your thoughts on this subject, because Omnichannel has been something that we've been discussing for like 10 years. But if you actually, I do a ton of research where I travel on site to customers and ask them about trends like Omnichannel. And when I do that, when I ask them about what Omnichannel is about, it's often quite confusing answers I actually get. Many have very varying definitions of what it even means. It's like saying cloud. It could just mean anything, really. But again, I do see a pattern emerging that there is something in the compelling storytelling that can kind of drive the omnichannel experience.